If you want to write expert level copy, this video is for you. I'm going to show you how you can go from being a total noob to being an expert copywriter. And whether you have your own business that you're writing copy for or you're writing for a client, this is going to teach you everything you need to master the art of persuasion through words. So I'm going to take you from having no clue how to persuade to learning the templates good copywriters follow, being able to recognize good copy from bad. This is really important if you're going to be looking for copy to basically copy and replicate in your own network or in your own niche. Then you need to be able to recognize good copy from bad so you know what copy to study. Writing confidently with templates. So I'm going to show you guys the most important templates and how to write with those templates, and then actually crafting copy that sells. So you're going to go from not knowing how to persuade people with your words to then being able to craft copy that converts people. And that is the goal of this video. So starting off, copy is written persuasion. That's it. So 99% of advertising involves copywriting. If you look at a billboard or you look at an ad or you look at a YouTube video, you look at an Instagram post, most of it involves words, whether they're spoken words like through a YouTube video or whether they're written like on a Facebook ad or in a caption or on an Instagram story. There's some type of words involved, and that usually means there's a copywriter involved. And so if you're a business owner and you don't want to hire a copywriter, this video is going to be valuable just so you can learn how to do 99% of your advertising. Or if you're a copywriter, this allows you to master that service so you can offer it to a business owner that doesn't have the time to master it themselves or doesn't want to. So basically I'm just going to take you through exactly what you need to know in order to be able to persuade people with your written words. All right. And so copywriting translates the value of your product into the mind of the buyer. So you're just taking words and using that to convey what you offer or what your client offers and make it more valuable to the prospect than money sitting in their bank account. And as soon as that product is more valuable to them than the money sitting in their bank account, they're sold. So that's all you need to know is how do you convey that? How can you take your words and actually turn them into sales? All right? You need to know your buyer. So you need to be able to do the proper research to know your buyer, know their pain points, know their needs, and then you can actually translate the value of what you're selling because you know what their problem is. And if you don't know what a problem is, you can't offer a solution, right? Like if you don't know what their problem is or what they're going through or what their pain is, you can't solve it for them. So that's step one, is learning what that problem is. All right? And that is just using human psychology. Every bit of copy is just about getting into the head of that prospective client and using human psychology to just walk through that sales process in their mind, overcome the objections, overcome their fears, overcome their doubts, and inspire them with the emotions that lead to a sale. We're going to get into that in a second. All right? So you want to use things like the pain that they're in, agitating that pain, talking about what will happen if they don't change something. Stories, that is really good at overcoming objections, using your own story or your client's story to just paint the picture of where they are and where they could be. And then the dream outcome, just like really, really inspiring them, giving them hope. And so here I talk about some of the emotions you want to incorporate into that, whatever piece of copy it is, whether it's an email, whether it's a sales page, whether it's a script. You want to make them feel safe, make them feel like your solution is safe. It's going to get them that outcome. You can do this through a guarantee. You can do this through like testimonials, showing that it's worked for other people. Confidence, kind of the same thing, but it's more of like showing that it'll work for them. So a hero's journey story is really powerful in doing that. And then hope, like show them the dream outcome. Talk about the end result. Talk about what your life is now after you lost the 30 pounds or after you made the 10K, whatever that result is. And that is going to inspire them to actually take action. So let's add some tools to your toolbox so you can actually go and implement on this and so that you actually know what you're looking for when you're doing research on your market. All right, here are the templates you're going to want to learn in the next couple days because this is a 7-day intensive. If you follow this, like what I'm saying in this video, there's no reason 7 days from now you can't write expert copy that converts. It should not take you longer than 7 days to learn this, genuinely. If you spend like what I did, like you spend every free hour of your day just reading and writing copy, it can take 7 days. If you're spending like an hour a day, then it's going to take you a month at least. But if you're spending like 8 hours a day doing this, I know that's probably not most people, but if you're really serious about it, then you can get this done in 7 days and be an expert. All right, DIC, disrupt, intrigue, and click. This is a great email template. And so basically what you're doing is you're creating this headline that is disrupting their scroll. It's standing out so much that they can't help but wonder, what am I going to see if I click this? So you're disrupting their day, intriguing them. You're building that intrigue. using some suspense probably in the body of the email to make them really wonder, like, how does this work, or how does this person achieve this result? And then the click is where you finally get them to actually take action. So you give them all this value, or give them all this interesting information, and now tell them what to do with it. Click the link to learn more, or watch the video, or join the course, or book a call, whatever it is. PAS, similar. You're talking about the problem, then you're agitating that problem, and then presenting a solution. So, you can talk about how terrible it is to not be able to fit into your size 4 jeans anymore. Agitate it by talking about how it just keeps getting worse, statistics with, weight gain, or, how it can affect other aspects of your life. And then solution, here's my 7-day blueprint to drop the extra 10 pounds. That's just an example for the weight loss niche. Hero's journey is another great format. That's just like using really low starting point, really high ending point, talking about that journey that this person, this case study got to by using your solution. And this could also be your journey if you're a coach or something, or your client's journey if they're a coach and they lost weight, or they, got to 10K a month. That's the journey that is going to inspire people to actually believe they can do it too. All right. So you want to read a ton of copy. Like, you want to be reading copy for hours every single day. You want to be going and joining newsletters, going on to swipe.co, reading like sales pages, clicking ads that pop up on your social media. Like, I get ads like about business and stuff on my social media because I always click them now. So now, like, my social media algorithm, my Instagram algorithm knows to target me with those like copywriting ads, with the business ads, with all those ads that are like in the money niche, because that's what interests me. So I study those ads so that I can craft ads even better and learn from what's working. And so do that, like, engage with the copy that gets sent your way. Actually read the emails that come your way. If anything stands out, you want to take note of that and save it to your own personal swipe file so you can go back and copy it. So read a ton of copy every single day. And then you're going to be able to recognize those templates we just talked about, put into action. So you'll be like, oh, I see how they disrupted that with, that subject line. That really disrupted my scroll. I see how they're building intrigue. They're not telling me what the solution is, but they're talking about all the benefits. They're kind of building some suspense. Cool. And now I understand why they're getting me to click. I just like spent the whole time reading this email. Now I really want to know the solution. Obviously I'm going to click. So once you start to see that in action, then it just becomes subconscious. So when you start writing, it's like muscle memory. So that's the goal of reading a ton of copy and learning those templates. And you're going to start to pick up on subtle strategies. Way more subtle than the templates are the strategies that copywriters just kind of intuitively use. Word choice, pauses, certain words getting italicized and other words getting put in bold, and, some sentences getting cut off short and other sentences being 2 lines long. You're going to pick up on strategies. Also, like the psychological strategies they use are really key. You want to make sure that you read enough copy that you're actually starting to pick up on those, because you're not going to pick up on them the first few emails you read. You've got to read a lot of copy to start picking up on those, and then it's just going to become subconscious for you. All right. You're probably going to come across some bad copy. That's also something you want to take note of. Like, if you read an email and you're like, I have this problem and there's no freaking way I would ever buy this solution. This sounds horrible, or I just don't trust this guy, or whatever. Take note of that. Like, circle, like print it out and circle the reasons why, or the place where he lost you in that email, where that copywriter stopped resonating. Take note of those things and make sure you don't repeat them. Like, pretty straightforward. All right. And even good copywriters have bad pieces of copy. So just because it's like, by Frank Kern or something, you might still find a piece of copy that you're like, oh, this doesn't resonate, and this is why. This one sentence just threw me off. I'm going to make sure I don't do that. Okay? So now take all this good copy that you've saved in your swipe file throughout the first few days of the week, and then go and rewrite it. So at like day 3 or 4, you want to start rewriting all this copy you've spent the first few days just saving. So you saved all this copy that came in through newsletters and copy that you found on swipe.co. Now, the best pieces of it, you're going to rewrite word for word. And you're like, why would I rewrite it word for word? Shouldn't I be getting creative? Shouldn't I be like find my own style? No, because this is the first week. You're still learning copy. So you should be learning the subtle things that good copywriters are using. You should not be trying to reinvent the wheel. Find out what's working. Take a good piece of copy, rewrite it word for word so that you get into the mind of that copywriter. And then after you've actually gotten into their mind, you've picked up on the subtle strategies, now you can rewrite it. So now you rewrite it in your own words, and preferably try and write it shorter, because that forces your brain to work a little differently. It forces you to really figure out what sentences are required. And if it's a good piece of copy, there might not be a lot to shorten up on, but usually there is. So try and write it a little shorter. Now, find the biggest businesses in your niche. If you're a copywriter, then find the biggest businesses in the niche that you want to write for. And if you're a business owner, find the biggest businesses in the niche that you are in and get on their email list. Join their newsletter so that you're getting their copy. You can see what works for them. So like by day 6 or 7, you should be like on all of the lists of your competitors, studying their copy, saving their copy, finding out what's working. If they're running an ad for 3 months, it probably is working. So save it. All right. Now start writing practice copy for your product. We were writing practice copy for just other people's copy, writing variations of what worked and what they were doing. Now you're writing copy for your product or for your client's product, and you're just using those templates and those subtle things you've picked up on throughout the week to implement into your copy to make it really, really good. All right. Okay, so now you're gonna use this template to your own product. You're gonna write out the template. So write out DIC, write the disrupt section where you write a really good headline, maybe a really good first sentence of that email, and make them stand out. Make them something that's gonna disrupt someone's scroll. Then write out the I. Underneath that, intriguing parts of your email should have a lot of suspense, a lot of just building up to this incredible solution that's going to solve their problem. Maybe you dig into a little bit of their problem, or you talk about the dream outcome. Build that intrigue, make them really curious, interested. And then the C should be where you get them to click, where you solve the problem, where you present the solution, where you tell them to learn more, and follow that template for your own products though. Okay. So you want to get creative and use the language of your target market. My last video talks about how you can get into the head of your buyer and all the little tips and tricks to research your market. But some easy ones are Instagram, Reddit, ChatGPT to do market research. Go watch that video after this if you want some more like in-depth info on how to research your target market, but you want to get into the heads of your buyers and use their language, use their slang, and use like the most relevant angles to their life situation to speak to them, because they're going to trust you a lot more if you use their language and their tonality. So that's really key. And just remember, copy is not formal writing. So as you're going through this and you're reading good copy, you're going to notice it's very conversational. And you want to take that and probably unlearn everything you learned in English class to learn how to write like a conversational copywriter. And that is going to convert way better because it doesn't feel like they're being sold to. Okay? It's the opposite of like traditional writing. Conversational. We just talked about that. So don't be afraid to use improper grammar. Don't be afraid to use abbreviations. Don't be afraid to use slang. Don't be afraid to use emojis. Those are all things that in the right time and place can be really powerful. Take each piece of copy. So now you're writing copy every day. You're writing practice copy for your products. Read it aloud. That's an easy test to see is this conversational or not. Because if you're stumbling over the words or it sounds super like stiff and kind of just like uncomfortable when you're reading it, then that's probably not good copy. So you want to make it something that like if you were just talking to a friend, that's how you would explain this product, or that's how you would articulate this problem to them, and that's how you articulate it in your email. Okay? Any sentence that isn't crucial in your copy should get cut out. If it's not absolutely needed to deliver the message and make the sale, cut it out. And make your copy as concise and straightforward as possible. Now, this doesn't mean like cutting out an entire section on handling an objection just because you handle a different objection. Like you want to make your copy convincing, but just make it as convincing as possible with as few words as possible. So that doesn't mean there's not a perfect length for an email. There's not a perfect length for a sales page. It depends on your client market. It depends on what your offer is and like how high ticket it is, how much convincing do they need. But the goal here and the rule of thumb is just make it as short as possible. So that might be 1,000 words. That might mean like 300 words. That might mean like 280 characters on Twitter. So whatever it is. But yeah, end of the day, you just want to be super direct. Being super direct and straightforward and honest makes people feel like they can trust you. And that is the kind of copy that personally sells me. I love it when a copywriter is just super direct in a sales email. Those are the kind of sales emails I buy from. I've bought from emails. I've bought $1,000 like products from emails. So like email copy is powerful if you master it. And using these tips, you're going to be able to just hone in your copy. If you implement these step by step for a week straight, you're spending hours a day writing, reading, and like just honing in your copy, using the templates, using these tips and tricks, making it super conversational, reading it aloud. You're going to have incredible copy. And if you want help writing your copy or going through this with me, this process, and me helping you get a client or helping you just refine your copy like one-on-one, book a call below. I'm happy to strategize with you, create a game plan, and see if it makes sense to work together. But either way, I hope this video was helpful, and I will see you guys in the next one.